guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate Super Chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the Super Chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jarrod's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome KEMPER profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular Helix, HX FX, HX Stomp, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars. What's happening, everybody? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Turn on all my backlighting. Or no, I did turn them on. Okay, never mind. What's going on, everybody? What's happening? Good to see everybody here. Thank you so much for joining us on Halloween. We're going to get scary tonight with two of what I think are the scariest amps that EVH has ever made.
Right, yeah, I agree.
You know, and this is TJ, in case anybody
guys?
hasn't been here before and seen him before. He's a good friend of mine. And Carrie is not with us tonight because she's got family duties tonight that she's got to do. So we miss her, and she'll be back next week. For sure. So can't wait to see her back here. But till then, we figured we would do a nice shootout for you guys.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you know. So I filmed the whole shootout between these two amps, and I had audio issues.
You know, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to go through all that again. We'll just go live. You know. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to be very. Because a lot of, like the rewatch people, they want everything to be quick, you know, let's go through all the stuff and keep it, you know, almost like I'm doing a edited video. And I understand that. So we will do that. And then we're going to, TJ's going to start off playing 3 of your songs, right? And you're going to pick which amp you want to play each song through. And then we're going to do the blue channel without and with the overdrive after you're done with your songs and kind of give your thoughts on that. Then we're going to do the red channel, same way. And then we're going to you're going to, you know, give it over to me. And then before I do my thing, I have some full studio mixes on these amps that I did where I have the amps double tracked. So I did the blue channel on both amps with the overdrive, and then I did the red channel with no overdrive in a full mix so that you can hear those. And then after that, we're going to go to me. I'll do a couple of my songs, and I'll do some riffs back and forth on the channels, and then we'll share our thoughts about you know, what we think, which one we prefer and why, what we notice between them, if there's differences at all. We'll talk about if they're subtle or not or whatever, and then we'll go ahead and turn some knobs and get them to maybe sound a little closer if we need to or whatever, and then we'll interact with you guys. So please understand, like, the only reason why I'm not answering questions and stuff is I just want to keep things going, but we will definitely answer all your questions and read all your super chats at the end, you know, before we close down the evening, because we want to make sure that we interact with you guys, because that's a big part of what we love about going live here. So we will do that for sure. I just want to kind of keep things moving, you know what I mean? So so anyways, well, again, thank you all for being here. I'm going to say a quick hello to some people, and then we're going to get started right away and blast off. You guys are in for a treat with TJ tonight, man. He's got some killer music he's going to share with you. So, okay, we got 16. It'll grow. Definitely. Tonight might be interesting because trick or treating and stuff like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
Jason Taylor, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. Johnny Romero, what's happening? Dean Harkness, Jam Moore, JB 50 Watt, what's going on? Sean Casey, what's going on, buddy? Great to see you here. Joey D, what's happening? WSR. Happy Hell Night, he says. Thanks for the super chat, Jam Moore. Really appreciate that. Matt Force from Motor City. What's going on, buddy? Thank you for being here. Mule Blues, what's going on? Joey D says, I hope Carrie's feeling better. I know she wasn't feeling good last week. Yeah, thank you. I'll definitely pass that on to her, and she might chime in here depending on what she's got going on, but she's definitely feeling better for sure. Joey D says, what's up, TJ?
What's up, bud?
WSR, let's get the party started. What's going on, Chicago Todd? Jam Moore says, TJ rips.
Yeah, thanks.
You've been jinxed, sir.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, he's going to sound like crap now.
Of course.
D. White, what's happening? Looking forward to the shootout. Oh, what's up, Steve Shaheen? Steve was going to hopefully be here tonight too, but he couldn't make it. But he'll be here on another one soon, and definitely you're going to be here, and Steve will also be here for the Guitar Summit on November 13th. So you don't miss that. We're going live with that too. So
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
gonna
fun.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Steve says, sick V, loves your V.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. What about my guitar? Huh? What about that?
Gotta get these gnarly pickups, man.
I got a red one, so whatever. All right, so let's get started, man. Your name of your band is?
Salvation's End.
Okay, so the music you're hearing tonight is stuff that TJ wrote with his band Salvation's End. And we're going to start with Separation.
Yep.
Right?
And by the end, the third one, it's actually a brand new song. It's a single we just released.
Oh, nice.
On the 15th. So it's going to be kind of almost an exclusive. I mean, it's out, but, I haven't played it in this kind of capacity yet. So it's going to be exciting.
So make sure you listen to it on Spotify so he can make a nickel.
Yeah. Half a penny.
Half a penny.
Half a penny.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Yep.
You're going to be rich.
Of course.
Okay, so let's mute the mic. But before we do that, what amp do you want to play?
Let's go ahead and do the first one with the Stealth.
Stealth.
Yep.
Okay, you want to go Stealth, and we're going to use the Mesa cab. All right, so here we go, guys. 1 second. Let me mute the mic, and we'll get started. Nice, dude. That was awesome.
Thanks,
that was freaking killer.
Thanks.
So what did you think there?
That was very, I don't know, full sounding. It almost sounds like I'm listening to a record.
Yeah.
Like it's so mix ready.
Really?
Yeah.
So okay. All right.
Yeah, it sounds great.
How did it feel? Like, so just so you guys know, we got the Mud Killer pedal on it, and the blue channel for rhythms, and then I switched for him the red channel for leads. So how did the red channel perform for the leads for you?
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have, like, if I was on stage, I wouldn't even have kind of bat an eye at it. I mean, it had everything. The texture obviously was really good.
Yeah.
What I really look for is enough drive that can, like,
sustain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that sometimes, when you play certain amps and you have to go to like a lead channel or something, you always have to boost the gain enough.
Yeah.
But this thing, it's just screaming with the gain.
It's crazy, and the gain is at just over noon.
Yeah.
On the red channel for leads. For rhythms, I would turn it way down, but for the leads, it's perfect. And I just think it's just, there's plenty of gas there, a lot of juice. Like, it's just, you feel really supported and you feel confident, right?
Yeah.
Like, you feel like, I could do no wrong tonight, even though you can. I mean, you just feel like you got this really great sense of confidence when you're playing that channel.
Well, not only that, but like with the blue channel too, and this is something I noticed right away, is when you're doing more complex, faster, thrashy stuff, it just sounds like you could tell instantly if you were to double track or quad track with it.
It'd be so thick.
Yeah, it would just completely, you'd get that wall of sound.
Yeah, and it's so guttural.
Yeah.
It's got that really thick, really great, grainy, gritty, like awesome. It's almost like braille sound. You can feel the texture in the air as it's coming out of the speakers.
But it's still smooth enough you can pick out all the notes. There's a lot of note definition there.
There's a lot of thought that went into that channel, if you ask me. So what song do you want to do next?
Let's go ahead and do Storm.
Storm.
Yes. And then we'll go ahead and do the EL34 for this one.
All right, let's do the EL34 and share your thoughts about that. All right, hang on here. Okay, thoughts?
Thoughts about that one? Okay, so I noticed almost instantly the first verse with the kind of chugging, galloping riff. That with the Stealth, there's almost like no give at all. With this one, it feels like there is a little bit.
A little bit of sag in it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You know, kind of like, it's not as tight and as focused. Almost like I had to dig a little harder with the pick to kind of get the, I don't even really know the right terminology.
The attack?
The attack, not only that, but just everything. But with the Stealth, it was completely different. I mean, it was like, I could pick as light as I want. And
Did it
just
feel
screamed.
more authoritative, like when you played the Stealth, like you had more authority in what you were playing? Is that kind of...
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, another thing is I've just noticed that the EL34s have... it sounds almost like a little bit more of a mid-boost versus the Stealth.
Okay.
But, I mean, it still sounded really good.
Oh, yeah,
and it sounded great in a mix. But, yeah, in terms... it's mostly, I think, in terms of feel and kind of a personal preference at that point.
Yeah,
you know?
sonically, there's a little difference. I mean, I think the differences between them, the more you play them, the more you notice, especially like what we were doing earlier, switching directly back and forth during sound check.
Yeah.
To make sure the volumes were the same. It was like, oh, there's definitely, this is not a subtle difference between them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's subtle, but it's also really noticeable at the same time. So it's not like, oh my God, they're miles apart from each other. But the differences are very noticeable, and depending on your taste, you're going to sway one way or another. But yeah, I thought that sounded good. So now we're going to hurry and get into the next song and not belabor this. And again, we will answer your questions. Just tag Tone Wars or Super Chat or put 3 question marks beforehand so I can find them easier towards the end. And we will address your questions and comments. We will. We just want to get through this and make it very entertaining for everybody. So this next one's Monarch, right?
Yep, brand new.
Brand new, and you have a new singer on this one too, right?
A whole new lineup.
Whole new lineup. So
pretty exciting.
Yeah. So which amp do you... I think you should go back to the Stealth. So you got
so
like an ABA comparison kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to the Stealth and get your thoughts on that. So,
sure.
And after that, we'll do all the riffs. Oh my God. That is just the nastiest, filthiest, just dirtiest, rottenest, most amazing sound.
Thanks, man.
Oh my God. It just sounded so good in that song.
Thanks,
it was like
man.
it was meant for it, you know?
I think it was.
Yeah, like that riff at the end, and then the one where you doing the I don't know, I don't know what you were doing there, but the chugging, the riff, whatever, in the middle of the song, I mean, it just, when you broke into that, I was like, oh my God, the filth coming out of that amp is just insane.
Yeah.
So much texture, man. It was just like insane. You could feel it. You could almost, like I said, it's like Braille sound. You could feel the texture coming out of the speaker.
Yeah,
it was
like
just
digging
insane.
into the strings.
Yeah, it was just disgusting. You know, I'll let you share your thoughts. You're the one that played it, so.
Oh, it's the same thing. I think it sounds great. You know, it has a little bit more life to it than I think the EL34 does. Just in my opinion. You know, and it's. I mean, with the settings as is, it's like my go-to settings. It sounds great all around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to touch anything. I'm happy to go on stage with it just like this.
Yeah.
You know, it just it sounds great. You know.
This amp is one of those amps that every time I play it, it blows me away even more. Like, I can't believe they're not on every stage out there. I mean, this amp is just insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
how nasty it is.
I played the 30 or the 50 watt.
Yeah.
It sounded good, obviously.
50 watts great.
Yeah, but this is, I don't know, this is probably the
whole nother level.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not kidding you, man. It's like the difference between the 100 and the 50 is like, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the thing is that, you know, when I went on tour and everything, I played tons of amps. I mean, tons of different amps. Everything from like Engel to high-end Marshalls to low-end Marshalls to, you know, boutique amps and everything. And I don't know, this is definitely on the top 5 list, if not number 1. This is just awesome.
It's so good. It really is. I mean, I can't believe, you know, how good it sounded with your music. I mean, it was almost like you ordered this for those songs.
Right.
I mean, it just was so fitting. The EL34, I thought, sounded really good as well. I thought, I mean, there's definitely a great tone out of that. I'm just giving my thoughts as a listener.
Sure.
But it just feels like the Stealth had more texture and more grit and more like of a guttural, just gnarly sound, and it just really stood out. What I like too is when you're playing an amplifier, and we're all tone junkies, right? We're all tone fanatics. We want our tone to shine through and not get lost in the mix. The Stealth is one of those rare amps that all the little idiosyncrasies and all the little details about your tone still come out, along with the clarity of all the notes that you're playing. I mean, you're doing a lot of intricate stuff there, and I heard everything you did. Even all 3 of your mistakes.
Oh,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I was hoping nobody noticed.
Yeah. I'm going to make plenty tonight, so I'm just joking. But, yeah, I mean, it just sounded really cool. So, all right. So now let's do this. Let's go back and forth between both amplifiers. Let's turn the overdrive off, and we'll stay on the blue channel. And we'll just see how they sound without the overdrive, and then I'll kick the overdrive on. So just play the same riff over and over again, whatever you want to do, and I'll switch between them for you.
Sure.
Okay? So let me mute the mic and pay attention to the screen. Right here, you'll see obviously what amp we're on. All right? 1 second. Okay, so what did you notice there?
Instantly, the Stealth was tighter.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like a lot tighter.
So if the so people can understand like the difference between them. So if the Stealth was, let's say, tightness of 10, what would the EL34 be?
It was still kind of tight. I mean, I would prefer to have an overdrive though.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But I would say probably like a 7.
Okay, so 7 and 10. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think they both sounded almost the same. I mean, there was there was some
very slight differences.
Yeah.
You know, but.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Take your in-ears out and tell us what you're hearing in the room.
Sure.
You know, because we're listening to the mics just like you guys are. So he's going to tell you what he's experiencing in the room between them as well. This time I'm going to turn the overdrive on.
Sure.
And then we'll go ahead and go back and forth and just give us an in-the-room kind of vibe too. All right?
Yeah.
Let me mute the mic here. Okay, what about in the room?
So in the room, I've noticed like instantly. I mean, they still both sound really good, really tight. But again, there's like a mid frequency with the EL that I heard like.
Okay.
Right on.
So
right as soon as you
mid,
clicked it,
okay.
yeah, it's very mid heavy. I would say probably like around the 500 to 800 hertz.
Okay.
Maybe that's like a little bump up there.
Okay.
And with the Stealth, I don't want to say it's scooped because it's not really. I mean, it's still like a mid-heavy amp.
Yeah.
But both these amps are at the same settings.
Yeah.
In terms
exact
of the
same
mids.
settings. Yep.
So, you know, definitely more mids there.
Yeah.
And it sounded like the EL34 was a little harsher in the top end.
Okay.
So the Stealth was a little bit more round, a little bit more pleasant to the ears in the room. Yeah. So,
okay.
That's what I would say.
All right, cool. All right, so it's amazing. Like usually, an overdrive pedal is like the great equalizer.
Yeah.
You know, it'll take all the amps and shape the tone a certain way. But you know, if an amp's got certain frequencies that it's pushing more than another, that'll also still be there. But even with the overdrive on, you could still tell the difference between them. Yeah. You know. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn the overdrive pedal back off, and we're gonna switch to the red channel.
Yeah.
On both amps. And you're going to be surprised. You haven't played either one of these yet without the overdrive on the red channel.
None of them.
You're in for a treat, bro. Because I'm not kidding you, man. Like, the red channels on these amps are freaking, they're money, dude. Money, money, money. So let's go ahead and switch back and forth between those two, okay? 1 second.
Yep.
Okay, so sorry if there's a little bit of clipping out there, but these are dialed in for the overdrive pedal.
Yeah.
So as soon as I turned it off, there's a lot of low end, so I had to kind of turn down and attenuate for that. So there was probably a little bit of clipping. But what did you think?
That was pretty impressive. Like, I would still, and I might sound crazy, but I would still use an overdrive for the EL34. Just because there's a little bit of flub there.
Yeah.
But with the Stealth, you don't have to.
Yeah, I know, it's nuts.
Insane.
Yeah, for rhythms, you don't need an overdrive pedal on that
Yeah.
red channel at all. I mean, it's that sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible how they dialed it in. For leads, I would.
A little bit of extra boost.
Yeah, just to have that little extra kind of like, juice, to get through a live stream or, like what we're doing here. I mean, you need all the help you can get some nights.
I definitely do.
Yeah, so do I. So I would totally use a boost on, but I would adjust it. So if I was using that channel for, just that channel by itself,
Sure.
I would probably use no boost for rhythms, and then as soon as I hit a lead, I'd kick it on just for that sustain.
Yeah, and I think that tracking with the red channel without an overdrive, I think it would just sound monstrous in a mix.
It's so incredible. You guys will hear that because I actually did that on a recording for you. You'll hear between, when we switch over to me to do my stuff, you're going to hear that. And dude, that red channel is money, dude. I mean,
you didn't use an overdrive for the...
No.
Oh man.
No.
See, this is my first time hearing it too. I haven't had a chance to hear it yet.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, so you'll hear it after we're done because we can't hear when I play mixes on the show, when I play a recording, we can't hear it, but you'll hear it afterwards.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, but I couldn't believe how big it sounded. It's so guttural and throaty and a lot of texture. I keep saying texture, but
there's really no other way to describe it.
Yeah, it's so grainy.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys get a chance to actually go to a store and try one out, definitely do it because this is my first time playing through it tonight. So it's awesome. And I'm already sold.
Yeah.
Might have to knock Jarrod out after the stream's done and take the amp home with me.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man, that the Stealth will make a believer out of you. I mean, it really will. And what I noticed, you tell me if I'm wrong, but what I noticed as a listener when we switched between them, there was a softness to the top end of the EL34 compared to the Stealth. It was a little softer sounding.
Yeah.
Where the Stealth had that nice, that guttural, like...
The clarity that you want.
Yeah, it was very staccato. It had that really nice punch.
Percussive.
And percussive. That's a good word. It's a little more percussive, where it's almost like the EL34 was like regular boxing gloves hitting you, where the Stealth is like the UFC boxing gloves.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where there's not a lot of padding and it's just, right in your face,
Yep.
So there's definitely a difference in the top end of these amplifiers, for sure. Again, both of them are amazing, but you don't know the differences until you switch directly back and forth.
Yep.
That's when you're like, oh my God, there is a difference, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Yeah, it's incredible what the difference is, So, so what did we do? We did we did everything, right? We did the in the room. Did you want to do some shredding on both, and I'll switch back and forth with the overdrive on?
Yeah.
On the red
if you want
channel.
to. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll turn on the delay for you, and then I'll just go ahead and switch back and forth for you, just so you can kind of give us your thoughts on the lead sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're an amazing lead player,
Thanks,
so
man.
yeah, we want to hear your thoughts on that too. So 1 second here, guys. Sorry, the last one was a Stealth, but the pitcher didn't jump up. So sorry about that. But yeah, that's what the last one was. So
Okay.
what did you notice between them?
Instantly, I mean, it was more so at the end, but you know, when I was doing certain arpeggios, and of course I was just kind of wanking there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I've noticed was with the EL34 is it's I don't even know like I don't want to say grainy because that's how we're describing the other one.
Yeah.
But it's to the point to where it kind of sounds messier.
Yeah.
When I'm doing certain things.
It's liquidy.
Yeah.
It's wetter, and then the Stealth is more of a drier sound. Like you can hear the pick attack without that extra surrounding kind of stuff going on. That's what I heard. I heard a wetness with the EL34 where the Stealth was drier.
Yeah.
And more direct sounding.
Well, I noticed too with like certain like diminished runs of sweeping. And when you go to the Stealth, it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah, it was cleaner.
You know, you can hear every note and everything.
Yep. There was no extra stuff going on. Where with the EL, I noticed, especially like what you were saying with the sweeps and stuff, there was like this extra amount of pick noise going on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like a lingering. It's not bad. I mean, it depends. Like it's kind of
some
like
people like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I'm used to hearing with Eddie Van Halen stuff. Like he's got that wet kind of thing going on, and you can hear like this extra stuff going on with when he's picking fast.
Yeah.
But with the Stealth, it cleaned all that up, and it's just so direct, and it's almost like it's gated or something. It's weird, but it's definitely a drier amp. And see, I'm not a huge dry amp guy. Like I don't like super dry amps because then they're kind of unforgiving, and then they usually lack fullness. You know, they're usually like, I don't know, there's some frequencies missing. And with the Stealth, it's dry, but there's a drop of grease in there, just to give you that little bit of texture that you love. Like it's like brownie dry. You know what I mean? It's like it's got that really nice thick sound. But it's not real super juicy. But the thing I found too, like with sometimes with drier amps, is the pinch harmonics get cold, but not with the Stealth. They're still full and juicy, but there's no coldness to them at all.
Yeah.
There's not that weird overtone.
You know what's really weird is when you're playing an amp and you think you absolutely suck at what you're doing, and then you switch to a different amp and you're just like, oh, I guess I'm not that bad.
I'm pretty good.
You know, I guess I'm okay. You know, I went from like total suckage to like not so much suckage. You know?
No, there was a difference between the two. There really was. I mean, and the thing is, I hope it's coming through on YouTube because, you know, I think this has been a battle that's been waiting to happen for a long time because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, they're probably the same thing with different tubes, and somebody, oh, power tubes don't matter. Yeah, they do, because I mean, if these amps are the same thing except for the power section, I'm telling you right now, power tubes matter big time.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, if there's other differences between them, well, we're here to, you know, hear for yourself. I mean, there are differences between them. I don't know exactly what they are. All I can tell you is that we're hearing some pretty big differences, and the more we play stuff and the more I lean into stuff, and I don't even think we're sniffing corks here, you know, or splitting hairs. I mean, these differences are pretty, they're pretty obvious, you know. So again, depending on your taste, you might like one over the other. So so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and mute the room mic here, and I'm going to play that video for you guys while we're switching over, and you'll hear these in a mix, and everything's labeled, you know, on the screen for you, so you know what's what. Okay, so let me mute the mic and get that started for you. 1 second. And we're back. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed those mixes. Again, it was double tracked, like in a real studio mix. I had no pre or post processing on those mixes at all. I didn't do any EQ, no compression, no nothing. And same thing with our live streams. The mics that I'm using, it's a Rare 121 and the SM57. There's no EQ, no compression. There's no nothing on anything, you know. So everything's raw. So that way, you're not getting this processed sound, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, it sounds great, and then you buy it, and you're like, why doesn't it sound like it did in the video? Well, it's because I lied to you and processed everything.
I bought into that. I did.
I bought into it. That's why I don't do it, because it happened to me before, and I got screwed, you know? So I'm all about just telling you guys the truth, you know? And I own these amps. No one's paying me to do this. So, I mean, I have no dog in this fight at all. I just want, you know, this to be known as an honest channel, not a shill channel. Yeah. So, all right, so we're going to switch over to me now, and I'm going to bore you guys to death with my crappy songs. So we're going to start with a couple riffs here. But so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play 5 songs for you. Okay, so two of the first two are going to be the ones that you guys have heard a million times. They're my shorter ones. So I'm going to play each song twice, once with each amp, and tell you what I'm experiencing there. And then I'm gonna after that I'm gonna do what TJ did, and I'm gonna play each song with one amp and just switch back and forth. But I'm gonna play each of those 3 songs once. All right. So 1 second, we play a couple riffs here, and we'll get started. I'm gonna start with the EL34 this time. All right. 1 second here. Okay, so yeah, man, it's we hear with our hands.
Yep.
So like, I felt like the Stealth was more responsive, and just I can't. I know I keep wearing the word out, texture, but that thing just makes you want to punch a nun.
Well,
come here, Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's just so nasty and
Yeah.
guttural and just full and punchy and articulate, you know?
yeah. Well,
Oh.
and that was one thing too. I noticed. I was gonna mention, is that the first mix you did, the first song you did, with the EL34 and the Stealth was more responsive in terms of like pinch harmonics. It almost seemed like, anyway, and I'm just observing. I'm not playing the song, obviously.
Yeah.
But you were not struggling, but you were working harder to get the pinch harmonic with the EL34 versus the Stealth. The Stealth, it almost came natural.
Yeah, it wants to do everything you want to do. You know, I guess that's what it is. It's like having that buddy that's like, hey, dude, you want to go paint the town red? Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got the beer and I got the car. I'll come pick you up. I mean, it's like, it's just one of those amps that just, whatever you want to do, it'll do it. You know, and it's so supportive. That's what I mean. I feel so confident with it.
Yeah.
Now with the EL34, it's almost right there. I mean, there's a difference. If I showed up to a gig and that was like the backline amp that they wanted me to play that night, I would not be bummed out about it at all. I would be like, cool, all right, let's do it. You know, you know, but if I had to choose, and that's what we're doing tonight, you know, if I have to choose, and I'm telling you what I'm thinking about these different amplifiers so far, I think the Stealth is, you know, it definitely has
right
what I'm looking for, and it sounds like it has what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. There's a difference. There really is a difference, and it's those little things that matter. And you know what's funny is when you hear those little things, it makes you want to play more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh man,
Get
you know,
excited to play, right?
yeah, it's like pitching a no-hitter. You can't wait to throw it again because you're like, I know this is going down the plate and you're not going to hit it, you know? So it's amazing. It really is, you know, the texture difference between them. And again, if you like the softer texture and that little bit of a mid-hump with that hint of classic sound to it, then the EL34 might be for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, it doesn't sound like a classic rock amp, but there's a hint of that in there. It's like just a dash of classic, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, the differences I'm noticing between these two, you know? So, I'm trying to find the next song. Oh boy, this one, this is a challenging song. I'm going to play this one with the Stealth because I need all the help I can get on this one.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how I felt too.
So I'm going to do this one with the Stealth, and so I'm going to be on the red channel for the leads and the blue channel for the rhythms, and I'm going to have the overdrive on for the whole thing. So forgive me if I get a little discombobulated here. I got to step on the channel switcher and all my other stuff on the Helix. So just bear with me on this one. So 1 second here, and we'll get started. Okay.
I like that song a lot, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's a cool song.
It's all right when I play it right. This thing distracted me. It popped off. I'm like, no! I started thinking about that too much. Excuses, but hey, it was a real one this time. But yeah, when this thing slides down and mutes all your strings, that's a problem. So
Right.
got to keep it tight. But dude, man, I mean, it's just so nasty. I mean, it really, it's just fun to play.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the thing I'm learning about both of these amps. I mean, they're both just a riot to play.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels good to do all the stuff on them. I mean, it's just amazing, you know. So let me do my next mix. This one I'm going to do with the EL. What songs am I doing again? Let me find it here. Out of Nowhere. Now, what was the third one I was doing? Do you remember?
Night Terrors.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to do Night Terrors with the other one. All right, so Out of Nowhere, this is a good one because it's got those heavy palm mutes.
Oh yeah, I like this one a lot too.
Yeah,
this
so
is a cool one.
let's see if the EL can keep up with that.
Yeah.
You know, and do that. And then afterwards, I will demo that section of the song with my isolated riffs between the two and see how chuggy they are. All right, so let's do the EL34 on Out of Nowhere. Man, all this
Tap
tapping.
dancing,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I feel like Michael Flatley up here, freaking river dancing. Holy crap, got to keep track of all this stuff. You guys see what's in front of me right now. It's insane. I got 2 foot switches plus my Helix and all these other pedals. I'm like, oh my God. Oh. Yeah. Talk about multitasking.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to hear that liquidy thing on the leads more than I did before.
Yeah.
It's starting to kind of stand out to me. I like it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the liquidy thing's pretty cool. So it depends on your taste and your playing style.
Yep.
But you can definitely hear that. I think my initial thoughts on the differences between the two are correct. The EL34 is more saturated. The Stealth is drier and more direct and more, I guess, articulate, you know, and stuff too. But if you like that liquidy feel, though, that's pretty cool on the EL34. It's kind of fun to listen to. It depends. Like, for you, with all the crazy sweeps and all the stuff that you do, you're going to like that, you know, the drier sound that really articulates that, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I write really stupid riffs that are very demanding.
Yeah, you're like spider fingers all
I'm
the
like,
time.
you know, why would I write that? And then I would write another song and it would continue to be that route. And I'm just like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Maybe I should, like, join, like, a dad rock band or something.
You'd be bored. But yeah, for your riffs, like, you would want the more articulate amp where even with the riffs I was playing, like just the rhythm stuff, I mean, I could hear that liquidy, you know, more saturated sound that I was getting out of the EL34.
Yeah.
So it really depends on your taste. It really does. And I'm not trying to be a fence sitter here. It's just, it depends. Because I love this freaking EL34. When I played it for the first time, I'm like, holy crap, this thing's amazing. So it is an amazing amp. Both of these are amazing.
I mean, it still sounded really good with the mix, too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, just as, like, me sitting here listening to it and not playing it, I'm like, yeah, that sounds awesome. You know? It has a lot of texture to it, too.
Yeah, still has a lot of great texture and sound. So if you own an EL34, I'm telling you, like, be proud that you own it. And you should probably hang on to it. But I think adding the Stealth would be a great thing because it is different enough where it's not just like, why did you buy that? You already have that. No, you don't. If you have an EL34, you don't have a Stealth and vice versa. They're both very different.
I'm curious to see what would happen if you, like, did a studio recording and had, like, the left channel be the EL34 and the right be the Stealth.
That would be
just
interesting.
seeing what it would sound like.
I almost did that for the mixes,
Oh,
but
really?
I ran out of time. I've been so busy. So, but yeah,
I'm sure they'd complement each other very well.
Oh, I'm sure they would because I'm enjoying them very much. But then again, I mean, we're here to pick something that's going to work best for us,
right?
And explain that to everybody, like why and what we noticed about the differences. That's what this is about. So far, I enjoy both of these amps, and I think they're both freaking amazing. I mean, I'm so glad I have them. But I'm noticing some stuff. So now that I've played that, let's switch back to the Stealth for Night Terrors and see how it performs in there. I just got to make sure I got my pedals in order here. All right, so that's the Stealth.
Yep.
Okay, and this, all right, God. Yeah, seriously, guys, you have no idea what I'm going through here, trying to get all this, keep all this stuff straight. All right, 1 second here. That's just, I don't know, man. I just, you know, again, both of these amps are insane.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick one, that Stealth just,
Yeah,
it really is.
I agree.
It just has it. It's just that it's got the bite, it's got the attack, it's got the fullness, it's got the punch, it's got the tone, it's got the feel, the response, the texture. It's just like, honestly,
pretty much everything that I would look for if I were like amp shopping.
And in the mix, I can hear it all.
Yeah.
None of it disappears. None of it gets none of it sinks below the mix. Like all that texture and all that grainy grit and awesomeness is there. All of it, and there's no thinness to it. I mean, it's just big, fat, full, and articulate, and just everything. You know, it's. I'm not kidding you, man. This amp is like, I would call it a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Just no-brainer. Like, if anybody ever asked me, like, what should I get? Just go buy a Stealth.
Yeah.
You know, seriously, it's stupid. Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
If I could afford one, I'd buy one.
Oh, my God, dude. It's so good. Like, it felt... I don't know. I'm sure guys can relate to this, and we will get to your comments shortly. I got a couple more sections I got to do here with some isolated riffs, but... the more fun you're having while you're playing, the better you'll play.
Yes, exactly. That's the big thing, you know? It's like, I mean, as musicians, we're like, well, for me anyway, I'm like super harsh on my own playing, and I'm sure a lot of musicians are, you know?
Yeah, we're all our own worst critic.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst thing to do is go up on stage and get super nervous.
Yeah.
And not have confidence in, like, you know, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because the mentality is supposed to be like, okay, you know what, I'm here, I did absolutely the best I could in terms of rehearsal, now it's time just to have fun. But with something like this, you know, you want to make sure you're playing through something where you can have fun, where you know, you're not like, oh man, well, my tone sucked, or this, that. You don't want any of that after a show. You know, you want to just have fun and have a good time. So
you almost feel like you have venom inside you.
Yeah.
You know, if you fall off a building, it's like, I got you, dude. I'll just grab this thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's like you turn around and you look at it and it's smiling at you like venom. Like, we got this.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. You know, it's
freaking sick.
Yeah. You know, the last show I played, somebody mentioned, you know, commented on my tone. I was just like, oh, thanks. You know, and of course it's a 5153 profile.
Yeah.
So
KEMPER,
Yep. So I was like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, you totally killed it tonight. And I was like, nah, that was the KEMPER, man.
Yeah.
I was just up there for show. You know.
I'm just the operator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing quickly. I'm gonna turn off the overdrive pedal, and I'm gonna switch between the amps while I'm playing and just see which one I think is tighter, or I don't know, whatever. So we're on the blue channel right now, and overdrive pedal's off. So let's start with the EL34 and see what we got. Alright, I'm going to take my in-ears out just for a second and do the same thing and see what I'm hearing in the room. 1 second. Turn this off. Okay, I don't even need to finish that. I already know. Dude, the mics, just so you guys know too, like mics add gain. They add a lot of stuff, gain, punch, whatever, because, you know, they're right on the cab.
Yeah.
And when you have an amplifier with a ton of texture, and I'm sorry if I keep wearing that word out, but it does matter, and whatever the amp has, it dissipates in the room.
Sure.
It will dissipate in the room because all that air in the room is going to eat it up. It's going to bounce off the walls and get diluted. Man, as soon as I took these out of my ears and listened in the room, there is even a bigger difference between these amplifiers in the room because the Stealth has more texture, more grit, more grain in it. You're hearing that braille sound in the room. There's more. The EL34, again, sounds amazing, but just telling you the differences. The EL34 is rounder and softer in the room than the Stealth. The Stealth was undeniably better, and for my taste, and probably for yours too.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, other people watching this might differ. If you like a softer top end and something that's a little less texture, and that mid hump, then, you know, God bless you. I get the EL34, and I'm sure you'll love it. I mean, different strokes for different folks, you know. But for me, the Stealth was a clear, even a clearer winner in the room. Yeah. And the thing is, the reason why I do that in the room stuff is because 99.9% of you guys that are watching this show right now are not going to listen to your amp with in-ears and mics when you're practicing at home.
No.
That's why we do this, because we want to tell you what we're experiencing in the room and be 100% honest with you, because you're going to listen to your amp in a room more than you're going to listen to it through these.
Makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
Huge difference.
Huge.
I mean, yeah, I just got the Stealth 212 cabinet.
Oh, okay.
And I hooked up my KEMPER through it with the little more...
The power amp?
Yeah, the little baby bomb, 30 watt. And, you know, it's funny because... you listen to that in the room, like with any kind of cabinet or like a venue or something, it sounds great. It sounds awesome. Yeah. But as soon as you listen to it to a PA, the way that it was captured or the way that it was supposed to be, oh my God, it's such a difference. Yeah, there's a difference with the in the room thing. There really is. Yeah. And that's why I always talk about that, because it matters, because most of us, when we listen to our amps, we're practicing in a room. All right, so let me switch back. I'm going to turn the volume down just a hair, because I don't want to clip with the red channel. So I'm going to play another riff with the red channel real quick. No overdrive pedal. Actually, I didn't even do the blue channel with the overdrive, did I? Yeah, I didn't. Let me do that real quick, and I'll go to the red channel. 1 second here. I don't even need to belabor that. I'm not kidding you. The more we do this, the more I'm picking it up. I mean, the EL34, again, amazing, but it's definitely softer. Yeah. And it's like I said earlier, there's like this classic sound, which is fine if you're looking for that. The classic rock kind of, it's like a hint. It's a dash of classic. Right? In there, it's like that little bit of softness. I like to call it like the British sound. Yeah. You know, that British sound. Yeah, exactly. The British sound. Top of the morning to you. Yep. Yeah. Which the Stealth has more of that U.S. sludge, whatever you want to call it. It's just that brutal top end. It's just nasty. You know, I mean, it is very obvious. The longer we're down here doing the back and forth, and I got to hear you, and then I got to kind of marinate in that, and then now I'm doing it, and my hands are happier with the Stealth too. Yeah, it's a little more responsive, so I don't have to beat the crap out of my guitar. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm getting that I don't have to coax it.
You know what I mean? Like, who wants
Yeah.
to convince people to hang out with them? With the Stealth, it's like, the Stealth is like stalking me. Hey, man, you want to hang out? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's crazy. All right, so let me switch to the red channel now on both units. Turn the overdrive off, and I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit, and let's hear the difference between those two. Okay, same thing.
Yeah.
There's the red channel on the EL is definitely, there's like more attack and more more top end and more aggression than the blue channel, which it should be. So it definitely is a nice, very, very nice channel. But when you switch from that to the Stealth, you notice the staccato.
The Stealth has more note definition and note separation.
Yep.
Like you can hear.
Yep, and it doesn't thin
those
out.
more complex chords you're doing. You can hear each note a lot better with the Stealth versus the EL34.
A little more definition. It's a little drier, but it's still wet enough to be fun to play in full. I hate super dry amps because again, they're really unforgiving.
Sure.
And I'm not good enough to play amps like that. I'm just not. You know. So I like an amp that's got a little bit of forgiveness. You know, it gives you a hall pass every once in a while. You know.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of hall passes in both of these amps. You know, but if you veer towards the dry side and you still want a few hall passes, the Stealth is for you. I mean, it really does do a great job of that.
You know, PVs are like that too. Like PVs are very they have a unforgiving kind of tone. Or it's very forgiving versus
they're more
Mesa
saturated.
Boogies or something like that.
Yeah, they're pretty saturated. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, so far it's really working for me. You know, so, all right, so I'll go ahead and give your final thoughts on which one you would prefer and why, and then I'll do the same.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be the Stealth, and the reason for that is because, again, I write really stupid riffs that are very, complex and kind of demanding, and I like the note separation a lot, so if I'm doing more, complex...
Yeah.
You know, I want to make sure I can hear each note and everything.
Especially when you double track in a studio.
Well, high quad track, so...
Oh, yeah, so it even gets thicker.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It matters.
I like to torture myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I never learned. But, you know, that's the thing. It's like, again, the EVH, the EL34 is great. It's a great amp. It sounds awesome.
It really is.
But if I was going to, a music store and it was, everything must go sale.
Yeah.
You know, and both of these amps were $1,000. I'd tell them to give me 2 of the Stealth. That's probably where I'd be at. I'd be like, yeah, just give me 2 of those.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, this is what this is about. We're not saying that the EL34 is not good. It's amazing. I'm glad I bought it. I searched high and low for it. It's just a matter of we have to pick one, and people ask me that every week. You had to just pick one amp, you know. So that's what we're doing here. We're saying between these two, if we had to pick one, according to you,
yeah, it would be the Stealth.
it'd be the Stealth. So let's say the Stealth, 1 out of 10 on both amps. What would you rate it?
Well, 10 out of 10 with the Stealth.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
I would go on tour with it tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, without,
All
I mean, I wouldn't bring my Kemper at all. I would just bring the 212 cab I just
Yeah.
bought, and the Stealth, I'd be like, I'm good. I don't
Yeah.
need anything else.
Yeah.
But for the EL34, I'd probably rank that one, I don't know, a solid 7, maybe an 8.
Okay.
Because I would probably use the EL34 if I jammed with like, you know, an old school kind of like band. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like if I was doing Skid Row tunes or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because
It'd fit.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's heavy enough to do some of the heaviest
Sure.
stuff, but it still has that classic sound to it.
It does have a hint of that classic sound in it. It really does. You know.
And I love Skid Row, so yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing that it
Yeah.
has that. I mean, some people really like that, you know.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to guys that are like, well, I'm in a band where we do some modern stuff, but we also do some classic
Like
rock
covers.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, well, get the EL34. It'll do both really well. You know.
It's funny because back when I was out playing with my old band, and I think we played a couple shows together.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing Jailbreak, and this amp would have been perfect for
Oh
that.
yeah.
It would have just
Yeah.
sounded awesome. Like the blue channel, maybe no overdrive, it would have
Mhm.
sounded great.
Yep.
You know? I mean,
Yep.
ours was a little heavier,
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah.
it still would have sounded great.
Yeah. So what are any other thoughts on the differences and
Not really, no. I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty cut and dry for me, you know.
Okay, so red channel, no overdrive for rhythms and overdrive for leads, or would you use it for both?
I would probably use the blue channel for rhythms.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
made
weird.
for it.
I know it's weird because normally I'm just like blue channel, like channel 2. Not interested. Just give me the full drive, full
Yeah.
gain, and let me go. You know.
Yeah.
But with that, I'm like, wow, okay, I would definitely use that.
It's great for rhythms.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. And the thing is, what I've noticed is in the past, like I just had the 6505 on here, and the crunch channel on it
Yeah,
was
I
worthless.
saw that episode. Yeah.
For what I do,
Yeah.
anyways. For what we do, we would never use it. But you're paying for it.
Yeah.
So with the Stealth and with the EL34, you're paying for channels that you will use. I
Yep.
mean, you won't skip over them. They're actually made for it. And the thing that I noticed too was these channels aren't afterthoughts, number one. I'm talking about the blue channel. They take a boost about as good as you can take a boost.
Yeah.
And they are articulate and just nasty and lots of great sound and texture on them, and they clean up really nice. In other words, you know what I'm saying? Like they're dirty but they're clean at the same time. They definitely let the articulation through, and they're not an afterthought. And on that topic too, I've played the blue channel on the 50 watt EL34.
Yeah.
Dude, ugh.
Yeah.
That's
what I've heard.
Oh, you got to do that mod.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a big goopy mess.
Well, and
You
yeah,
know?
that's really bizarre because for years I ran a 6505 plus.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm used to.
Mhm.
You know, channel 1 is the green channel, so it's only for cleans.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then channel 2, it's just drive for everything.
Everything.
But with this, how I set up my overdrive is I don't have any gain in the overdrive.
Mhm.
It's just the gain's at 0, the
Yeah.
level's all the way
Yep.
up, and tone
Okay.
is to taste.
Yeah.
And with that amp, because the red channel is just as good as the blue channel and vice versa,
Yeah.
I can bump the gain up a little bit more on the red channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about
It's
anything. I don't
perfect.
need to adjust my overdrive at all.
Yeah.
I'm set.
It's so good.
That's great.
Yeah. I guess for me with my my thoughts on and before I go on to that, so the blue channel on the 100 watt is completely on the EL34 100 watt is completely different than the blue channel on the 50 watt.
Yeah.
I mean, they're night and day difference.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, it's way better. So, because again, like the blue channel on the 50 watt, it felt like I had my tone knob all the way down on my guitar.
Yeah.
It was that weird kind of,
Yeah.
ugh, you know. So but they didn't do that with the 100 watt. 100 watt's beautiful. My thoughts between them. I love the EL34. I think it's amazing. It did a great job, and if I'm looking for that wet sound for a lead, I think it would be kind of fun to do. I would totally use that. Again, if I showed up to a gig and that's what they had backline for me, I would not complain. I'd be like, sweet, this amp is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But if I showed up to a gig and they had the EL34 and the Stealth, I would pick the Stealth.
Yeah.
It's just more fun. It's more fun to play. For my taste and what I look for in an amplifier, it sounds and feels better. It's more responsive. I love the top end on it. There's no classic rock anything in it. It'll do classic rock. It'll just do like a meaner, drunker, coked
Yeah.
up version of classic rock. But I mean, hey, that's what I would look for anyway. So,
Right.
but I love the top end in it. It's just very responsive, punchy, articulate, and I feel good playing it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Both of them are fun, but the Stealth is more fun to play.
Yeah.
It's just, it puts an evil grin on your face, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're just so happy playing it. It's
Mhm.
just so amazing and so much fun to play, and
Yeah.
it does everything. And the clean channel on it is, there's no afterthought part to it. It's everything a clean channel should be.
Right.
Are there better ones out there? Well, that your taste comes into play there, but it's not an afterthought channel. It sounds amazing. There's nothing I would really change about it. It's just really good. You know, the only thing I wish they would have done with these amps is put MIDI on them, but there's a way around it. You can get this cable that you can hook up to anything that's MIDI, and it's got 1/4 inch on one side and the DIN plug on the other, and it'll switch everything.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it's $50 for the cable, but at least it's a workaround for it. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I would go with the Stealth, but I still think the EL34 is amazing, and I would rank, I'm with you, I would rank the Stealth a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I really would. I mean, there's nothing I would change about it sonically
Right.
or how it feels.
Right. Absolutely.
Nothing, you know? And you're a recording engineer,
Yep.
you know? And you're even saying it's mix ready, but without being thin and crappy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Like I can tell with the right mic placement, the right speaker, you know, I won't have to do maybe like a touch of EQ.
Yeah, and low end, you got to
And
pull some low end out or whatever.
That's
But
about
I mean,
it.
Yeah, but you don't have to add anything to make it sound good in a
Yeah,
mix. It's just
exactly.
there.
Yep.
And that texture, oh my God, can you imagine quad tracking with that?
I don't want to.
Oh, you never go back.
No.
Oh
That's
my
the
God.
thing, man. You have to be a super tight player to quad track with it, man. And this amp, it's like you were saying, it is unforgiving because if you mess up one little thing,
Well, the thing is though, is it's I think it's less forgiving than the EL, but it still gives you a hall pass every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? It's still it's still fun to play. Like a what was the Fryettes? It's not as dry as a Dryette. That's what I call it, the Dryette amps. I mean,
I've never played one, dude.
they're great, but
Are
they
they?
are dry, very dry. The Stealth is definitely has more saturation than that, so it's not like that at all. But
it would be huge though. Quad tracking with it.
it'd be
my God.
huge. That's what I'm saying. It'd
Yeah.
be freaking mammoth, you know. So so I would rank the Stealth a 10. As far as, you know, all that, the tone and feel and response and everything, it's just amazing. And then the EL34, I would give it a solid 8. I would. It's great, but again, we have to rank them and score them, and that's what our scores are. So tell us what your scores would be, and tell us what your scores are based on what you heard tonight. You know. So now let's move right along, and I'm going to put on my glasses here. And so anybody that's got anything, super chats, anything they want to say, feel free to say it now. We will be happy to interact with you. Just tag
Absolutely.
Tone Wars, or put 3 question marks in front so we can find your question or comment easier. Or super chat, that's fine too, because we definitely work our butts off here, giving you guys the best content that we can. So we appreciate any support that we get. And again, thanks, Jam Moore, for your super chat earlier. Very much appreciate that. And we got another one here. Scott Fulmar, thank you so much, dude. He said, digging the Stealth tight with might. Thanks for the comparison.
Nice.
Thanks, man. Scott, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for the super chat and the comments and for always being here. Very much appreciate that. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find anything here that we may have missed. Mr. Guitar Mike 222 Killer Showdown, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. So let's see here. Let's see. Trying to find everybody here. Everybody's talking about switching power tubes. So yeah, it does make a difference, you know. JB50 Watt. Glenn Fricker would be so mad about us talking about different power tubes. According to him, they don't matter.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know if the preamp tubes matter as much, but
yeah,
power tubes definitely matter.
You know, and it's funny because he recently did a segment on tone woods too, and you know, I follow his channel. I think he does great work. He's awesome, but you know, I had to like disagree with the whole tone woods thing, and the reason is because, you know, having the same pickups in a guitar, like, you know, I got the DiMarzios in this one, and there's a huge difference between a mahogany body and an ash body, which this is what this is, an ash body, and it's really strange. I don't understand why that is, you know, but like ash bodies have a brighter sound to them, a little bit more scoop sounding versus mahogany being darker. And I, as an engineer, I can hear it instantly. Yep. You know, it still sounds good. It's just weird, but you know,
it all
it's
matters.
all personal preference though too. If you think about it,
it really does. You know, Gunnerman 54 says, now pick one, Stealth or Savage. Oh boy, oh my God.
I don't know.
I honestly, I have not put them up against each other yet.
That might have to be the next one.
Oh, that'll be something I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to put them up against each other. The thing is the Savage is amazing. It's just a completely different type of amplifier.
Yeah.
It's richer. There's more saturation in it.
There's more bells and whistles to it too.
Oh yeah, definitely more features. But sonically, I think it's more saturated, and there's probably a little more versatility there because of the different, you know, buttons you have, you know, the contour and all that kind of stuff, and the mid cut, mid bold. I mean, there's definitely some great tone shaping options there, but I mean, I'll shoot them out because that's the thing that's so nice about the switcher is you don't know until you put something on a switcher and go back and forth, and that's when everything jumps out at you and you can hear everything right now. You know, I always use this analogy. I mean, going to Kroger, you know, I go into the deli department, you know, and I'll take a pound of Munster, and they're like, which one do you want? Do you want the Boar's Head or the Private Selection? I'm like, well, Private Selection sounds fancy, I'll take that. And she's like, let me give you a slice of each. And in my mind, I'm like, what difference does it make? It's stupid cheese, who cares? Taste the Private Selection, and you know what, there's a part of me that's like, I'd be perfectly fine with this, and I was almost like, don't even bother giving me the other one, this is fine. But she handed it to me. I tasted the Boar's Head, and I'm like, oh my God, I'll take Boar's Head. And she's like, everybody says that. So it really, until you go back and forth, you don't know, you know. You really don't. So let's see here. See, Joey D, sometimes I barely have time to actually practice. I'm swapping tubes all day long. Let's see, JB50 Watt, EL34 and 6L6 definitely sound different. The EL34 are more kind of mid-focused and more grainy. And JB also says, I like dry sounding amps, so I say Stealth. And Jarrod, what are the driest sounding amps you have? Good question. I would say that the Driftwood's the driest amp I have. Still sounds great, but that's about as dry as I'll go. Yeah. The Stealth is a little more saturated and more forgiving and fun to play.
That Driftwood is really sweet, though.
Oh, it's awesome. That Driftwood is stupid. You know, I love that amplifier. So Ezel, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Savage or Stealth? That's the next shootout. I'll do that next. So I appreciate the questions. I really do. D. White says, awesome shootout. Which is your favorite all-time amps? Well, great question. I'll go ahead. I'll throw it to you first.
My favorite all-time amps. God, I played so many of them.
Yeah,
dude.
that's why.
I mean, I've played everything, like I said, from Engel to Marshall to PV to, you know, EVH, all that kind of stuff. I would say my favorite though is definitely the Savage. I love the Savage, how it sounds. Yeah. I'm really digging the Stealth, obviously, now. That's definitely on there.
He lit up like a New York Christmas tree when he plugged into that today.
I did.
He was like, whoa!
Yeah. And then, you know, I got to give it to, like, the classic 5150. You know, the PVs. I still think those are, like, some of the best amps. I had a dual rectifier for a while.
Yeah.
I really wanted to love that amp, dude. I really wanted to.
They're great, but you can hear how outdated they are as soon as you put them on a rack next to the modern amps, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay, these are great, and you got to give them respect for what they did and what they're still doing, and how they were part of what started all this stuff too, and you got to give them respect for that. But as soon as you put it up next to something that's modern, you're hearing the lack that they have. Yep.
Exactly. And it's funny too, because another one of my favorite amps, I have to make an honorable mention, is the Herbert.
Oh, the Herbie is nice.
Dude, I swear, man, that amp is great too.
Yeah.
But it, like I said, with the dual rectifier, I had to like crank the gain up a lot with an overdrive just to get it to sound like usable.
Yeah.
This is on channel 3. I'm just like, wow, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to hit it that hard, but I mean, that's the thing. That's why they trimmed him and came up with the Badlander, because the Badlander's like a much better version of that now. Yeah. You know,
it's supposed to be like a modern dual rec kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. So I guess for me, Savage, Stealth 100 is oh my God. Yeah, for sure. That's a no-brainer for me. You know, the Rev is, that's a thick, really nice, rich amp that has a lot of great features in it. I love how that amp sounds as well. Driftwood, love that. I mean, so off the top of my head, you know, I guess those, you know, I just think every one of these amps are great. So it's not like, it's not like, the Savage is like 10 laps ahead of the Herbert or the Mesa Barba. I mean, it's a photo finish for it's almost like that really wide triangle finish with all my amps. You know, you got your number one, and all the other ones that hit the finish line are just a little behind it. And you know, some more than others, obviously, but you know, the thing that's nice about the collection I have, and I'm very lucky and grateful to have it, is that no matter what I plug into when I come down here to practice, I'm happy with it. Yeah. I'm never down here going, why am I playing this piece of crap? I should sell this. It's never like that. I'm always like, dude, this amp freaking slays, you know? So, I mean, the JP, I play that all the time, and every time I play it, I'm perfectly happy with it.
Too. That's a fantastic amp. That's probably my favorite Mesa Boogie amp.
It's mine.
Down, is the JP.
Yeah. If you want to know like where Mesa really knocked it out of the park, it's the JP.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking just to get a Mesa, you know, just because the namesake alone, you know, it has a really great reputation, the JP's the way to go. Yeah,
get Dream Theater's new album and you'll hear it on there. I think that's the best guitar sound that Petrucci's had so far, is on their latest album. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So, yeah, those are my, you know, it's hard to pick. You know, it really is. It's like, who's your favorite kid? Like, really? It's like, I can't really say, but if I have to pick, that's what it is. Let's see here. Let's see. Mule Blues, JB50 Splun are very dry. I had a quick rod. Oh, Mule Blues, you want to try the Nitro. The Nitro is definitely a better amp in my opinion. The quick rods are kind of open and hollow. There's like this hollowness to them. It's got that JCM sound, which I'm not a big fan of. No. I don't like open amps. I can't stand them. I like a compressed amp that's thick, you know.
The Marshalls, I like the Marshall sound that I kind of dig.
JVM,
is the JVMs, what is it, the JVM 400s or something?
Dude, those are stupid. Yeah. The 410,
Yeah, 410s, that's right, yeah.
That's a great amp.
Yeah. Expensive, but great.
But worth it. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a killer amp, you know. So let's see here. JB 50 Watt says about the tone wood thing. The wood acts as a mechanical dampener or filter to the strings. It definitely changes the sound based on the wood used. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a thing. It really is. And, you know, sometimes when they do those episodes about, like, you know, let's hear how it sounds in a mix. It's like, look, I understand that mixes matter and stuff, and they hide things and everything, and that's why we do mixes on the show, and it does matter. But the thing is, though, is 90% of the time when you're playing your guitar at home, you're not playing in a mix. You're playing by yourself. Yeah. And that's when it matters most, because you can fix anything in a mix. Yeah. You know, there's bands out there like Misha Mansour. They took great pride in using pods on one of their albums, because they're like, we can fix anything in post. Yeah. That's easy. you know, but by itself, everything has to sound good.
Yep.
You know, and that's what matters to me, because when I get in a studio, I can take any one of these amps and then go in the studio and record, and it'll sound amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some will sound better than others, obviously, but they'll still all sound really good.
Yeah.
But in the room, that's what matters, and that's why, like I said, we took our in-ears out earlier.
Yep.
And we did that because we do that for you guys, because we know that you want to know what it sounds like in the room, because that's what matters. When you have a mic an inch away from a speaker, I mean, if it's not going to pick up the texture of the amplifier, I mean,
Yeah.
what good is it, you know?
Yeah,
but in the
exactly.
room, that's what it matters, you know? It dissipates. So, Steve Venchek, your opinions on the Iconic.
The Iconic.
That's the new 5150 that's coming out. That's like a throwback. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, PV's coming out with a new 5150 that's a throwback version of it. It's going to be like $900.
Oh, is that the 80-watt one?
Yeah.
The really weird wattage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
It's not out yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nope.
Then if it's not out yet, clearly I haven't played it.
Yeah. Yeah, I played it last week. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
No.
Whoop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of on the fence about it, just because it's a weird wattage, and I think there's only like one tube in it or something weird.
Well,
like
there's
that.
two preamp tubes.
Yeah.
But there's diodes. I mean, who knows what
It's
they're
supposed
doing
to,
with
isn't
it?
it supposed to be like a hybrid, like kind of both solid state and
There's a
tubes?
lot of, it's like the telephone game with it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like rumor and stuff. I won't know until I play it.
yeah.
But trust me, when it comes out, because Motor City's got them on order, I'm going to put it on the rack, and I'm going to put it up against the Stealth.
Yep.
I'm going to put it up against the Savage. I'll put it up against everything, and we'll
Yep.
find out if it's, what's what with it. So
Yep.
I think it's worth looking at.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, the thing is Eddie's thing has always been, was, when he started doing the 5150s, was I want everybody to be able to buy one of these.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool of him. I mean, he could have been like, well, I'm Eddie Van Halen. I'm one of the greatest guitar players in the world ever, never to be topped. So, I want my amp to be $3,500. And he could have easily done that, because he actually had his actual signature on the amp, and the guy is a super amazing guitar player, the absolute best known guitar player ever, and no one will ever top that. So he could have done that, but he was that's a testament how cool he was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, I want everybody to buy one of these. Let's just have fun,
Yeah.
He's even said it 1,000 times. Like, I'm just a kid who loves to play guitar, man.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
and
care.
that's the thing is that, the EV or the 5150, the PV, when that came out, that was like the flagship metal amp. Everybody in the metal scene played that amp, dude.
Yep.
Everybody. All my
Yep.
favorite bands, all my favorite melodic death metal records, dude, it's all the 5150.
Yep. Yeah. That we all grew up on those Marshalls, and it's crazy. JB50, I love Boar's Head. Asriel says, Surprise Synergy has not released a EVH module yet. I talked to them about a year and a half ago, and I think there might be one in the works, but it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. I mean, it's hard to get the licensing, and if they can't get the licensing, they build it's almost like I hate to use the word knockoff, because it makes it sound as a derogatory thing, but they build their own version of it.
Yeah.
A tribute. I'll call it a tribute.
Yeah.
A tribute version. So they'll
They
do
did a
that.
few of those, actually. They sounded pretty good.
Yeah, they got some other stuff coming out that is like that, from what I heard. So we'll see. Gunnerman says, I'm looking for a JP too, but can't find one in Canada for a good price. Yeah, man, they just started shipping again. So I know Motor City, they might even have one left at Motor City. Check Motor City, man. I think they ship to Canada. You might want to check with them, but last I talked to them, they had one, I think, left. So that's a good amp to have. Joey D, well, gotta say goodnight, all. It's sleepy time. I'll catch up with you guys next week. Peace, and above all, keep it heavy. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for always being here. Steve Venchek says, designed by John Brown, 2 preamp, 4 6L6 tubes. It's Eddie's last approve on this amp. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, we'll see. The Iconic might be freaking amazing. I mean, we don't know. I mean, I'm not going to judge it until I play it.
Right.
I don't care what the schematics are and the pictures are. And until I play it, I'm not going to start talking crap about something, because John Brown's a great dude, and I would hate someone to talk about my stuff, without, without knowing. And, you know, I mean, John Brown's a great guy, you know, so.
Well, it's also impossible to, like, predict what it's going to sound like until you actually get it in a room, so.
There's some amps I've looked at and at stores, just walk by and go, that thing looks like a turd.
Yeah.
And I play it, I'm like,
it sounds
holy
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, and the whole, like, weird thing with the wattage, I'm like, that's kind of weird.
It
I've
is
never
weird.
heard of, like, whatever it is,
80-watt
80
amp.
watts.
Yeah, it's strange.
But then again, you know, you got, like, what is it, 30-watt amps and, 15-watt amps. You think, oh, man, this thing's not going to sound good at all. Then you hook it up, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, like the PRS MT15.
It sounds amazing.
Sounds like a 50-watt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds incredible.
And the thing is, what I heard, again, there's a lot of, like the telephone game stuff going around, but what I heard is it's an actual wattage, as opposed to how the other ones were overvalued.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really 120, it was actually about 80 anyway. So they're like, let's just call it what it is.
Oh.
It's like 16-pound test line.
Yeah.
Don't call it 20. If it's 16, it's 16. Stop lying. I'm not saying they're lying. You know what I'm saying. They're just being more realistic with it. Jim Morris says, off topic, but could you ask TJ if he knows Billy Gray? He's a good friend of mine. He was in Halloween for a while.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Billy's a great guy, man. He's awesome. Actually, Billy was the one who inspired me to pick up the PV 6505.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he came to one of my shows, and he's just like, hey, bro, I'm going to show you how to make that thing scream. And of course, I was green, dude. I had no idea how to dial in tube amps to save my life. He's like, check this out. And he, like, set it up for me. And it was minor tweaks, dude. He's just like, check that out. And I hit a chord, dude. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh, my God. You and I are best friends now, dude. Billy's a great guy and a phenomenal guitar player, man.
Yeah. Small world, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, we'll be on for about 5 more minutes. And so please get your questions in now. I would, appreciate you guys, again, being here very much. Very much appreciated. For those who are here now and missed, all the playing and stuff, I mean, you can rewind lives, and go back. And so we kept it as tight as we could. I think we did a good job keeping it tight and staying business-like and just doing all the stuff, bam, 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 so that whoever is watching can just enjoy without all the breaks in between and stuff and lulls. So... Jim Morris says Billy gave me some of my first guitar lessons. That's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, Billy's a great guy, man. Really
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So, any other questions or comments, we'll be happy to interact with you guys for a few more minutes here.
Absolutely.
We've been on for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it crazy?
Flies, man.
Yeah, it's 9:02.
Wow.
Yeah, Carrie and I do this every week, and it's like, it's the same every week. It's like, wow, it's already been 2 hours?
That's insane.
Yeah, so... Anyways, we really appreciate you guys being here very much. I had a good time, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, it was fun setting all this up. I mean, it was a lot of work, but I mean, it was definitely a lot of fun too.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
So I'm gonna start a Patreon soon, because need to support the channel with all the work that we're doing here. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be announcing it on the channel soon. And we, appreciate any support that we get, because it definitely does, help. I mean, just so everybody knows, like, I'm not, EVH didn't send me the EL34. I bought it, Not one company here sent me one of these amps. I bought every single one of them because what I'm trying to do is give you guys the best content that I can. I want to have a nice wall of amps. So I can shoot them out for you guys, and I enjoy playing them as well, but there's a lot of expense that's associated with it. So, that's just kind of what I do here. Some people might think I'm nuts. Like, really, you spend that much money? But hey, I'm trying to have a legit channel here. So, JB50 says, how does the JP compare to the Stealth? Excuse me. They're just apples and oranges, and I don't mean that in a good or bad way. They're just very different. I mean, the Stealth is just all out brutal. It's just, I think it brings the most brutality out of any amp that I've ever played. Yeah. And I've played a lot of amps. So, it's more brutal, but if you're not looking for brutal and you just like the tone that the JP gives you, then, not everybody wants the most brutal amp.
You know, that's the truth. And the thing is that with the Stealth, I play a lot more aggressive. I guess, I would call my band progressive metal, but it's more on the darker aggressive side of progressive metal.
Like a foreboding kind of...
Yeah, kind of like mixing a little bit more of the extreme elements.
Yeah.
But if I was doing more of like the Dream Theater or like the Adagio or, prog bands like that, which, have more dynamic elements. I mean, we still are, our music's still pretty dynamic, but I would probably use the JP just because I can achieve that kind of tone quicker than I could with the Stealth. So it's really all about personal preference at that point.
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for, because like with the Stealth, you're pulling things back to fit certain genres, where with the JP, if you're trying to get more metal, you're trying to push things more. Again, I think the JP is amazing. Like every time I see Dream Theater live, I'm like, oh my god,
sounds great.
Oh, dude, John's tone is like stupid. It's so good, and his lead tone, it just sings. It's just this singing, soaring kind of sound, and it's got the highs are just set perfectly on it. It sears, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It's just this perfect balance he's got on all that. So it just sounds really good. So Eric Goodman, sorry, late to the show. Any chance to hear the Stealth without your noise gate on blue and red channels? I'll do that real quick for you. I'll turn the noise gate off. It's pretty noisy. I mean, it's a metal amp.
Yeah.
I don't care because I use noise gates. I have two in my Helix. I got one before and one after the amp.
Yeah,
That's how I have it, you know. So it doesn't matter to me, but I'll go ahead and do that for you real quick. 1 second. Okay, so that's with the noise gates off.
Yeah.
All right. And like I said, if you play metal and you don't have a noise gate, like, are you,
dude,
what the hell's the matter with you? You should get a noise gate. So I'll turn the noise gates back on. All right. So here it is without the noise, or with the noise gates. So that's basically it. So like I said, you want to use a noise gate, and always have one before and one after. That's why a lot of the more modern pedals have the loop. They put a 4-cable method, so you can run it through the loop too. So
dude, I am so gated live. It's ridiculous.
You have to be. Who wants to hear all that noise in between notes and stuff?
Well, it's funny too because the show I did last night, I got that Line 6 G90 wireless I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
Great wireless unit, by the way. And the other guitar player, Ben, has the G50. And this is the first time I felt comfortable enough to run to the other side of the stage. And as I did, he did the same thing. Ran to my side. And he's using a VH4 amp. So even if he stops, because he's not using a noise gate, you got that nice fat stop.
Yeah.
But because I'm so gated, he would stop at the same time, and we were so in sync that he'd be like, "Why'd my amp cut off sooner?" But it's because how gated I was. He's just like, "Oh, my amp's over there." He's like, "I'm here at TJ's."
That's
we were
funny,
laughing
man.
about it.
You want that nice, tight kind of thing. Sean Casey, he says, "Good night, killer show." Thanks for being here, Sean. Really appreciate it very much. And you're welcome, Eric. Gunnerman 54 says the Savage has a noise gate, which is a plus. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if I was to change anything about the either EL34 and the Stealth, I wouldn't change the tone on either one of them because they're both supposed to be what they are. You know, I think they're both perfect versions of what they are. I would put a noise gate in it, And I would also say put MIDI in these things.
Yeah.
Like, for
yeah.
crying out loud, can we have some freaking MIDI? You know, I mean, again, there's that workaround with that cable, but still, it's like, put
I mean,
MIDI
that's still
on.
another $50 you'd have to buy.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
it just coming with it, you know.
Exactly. I'd rather have the MIDI and have the noise gate. That would be perfect. But we'll see what EVH does in the future. You know, I mean, I would love to do like a Stealth Deluxe with
That'd
like
be
a
cool.
noise gate and
Yeah.
MIDI.
Yep.
Dude, I would buy that in a second,
Mhm.
in a nanosecond. That would
Yeah.
be awesome. So, yeah, or the Mule Blue says the Iconic has a built-in gate. Oh, well, that's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Well, see, that things are happening. You know what I hope, though? I hope, I'll say this, and then we'll be out of here in 2 minutes. I hope with the Iconic, it's like, PV, if you're watching, anybody that's building amps, if you're watching and you're reissuing something or whatever, please don't make the crunch channel useless.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, I don't want to spend whatever I'm going to spend on your amp and and have a channel that I don't use because it sucks.
Yeah.
Channel 1, the crunch channel. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Who buys PV 6505s? What kind of players?
Oh, metal players all
Okay,
day.
all right. So
Yeah.
does a metal player play flubby, gooey, crappy, nasty, stupid, low gain, soft, soy boy, bitch ass channels? No. Okay, so we don't play that. So don't give us a soy channel. We don't want it. You know, make it nasty. Give us a good channel that we can switch to and rely on for rhythm, and then let the lead channel be a lead channel. I don't want to pay for 3 channels or 2 channels and use one.
It's weird too
Makes
because
no sense.
PV already did that with the 3120. I mean,
Did they?
that rhythm channel was absolutely perfect.
I've never
for
played
rhythm.
one of those.
Oh yeah, you did. You reviewed it.
Did I?
Yeah, mine.
Oh, that's right. I did play yours. I
See
forgot.
that?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
that amp. I mean, the rhythm channel is amazing
Yeah.
on it, and then the lead channel sounded killer. But
Yeah.
I don't understand why the 6505 just I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Make it.
Why?
It's a useless channel. I would never
Yeah.
use it. If I'm a metal player.
I mean, it is a 2-channel amp technically, so I guess I get it. But
Yeah, but still, make it work. I mean,
Yeah.
geez, that channel was just like, ugh.
yeah,
Just
still one of my
doesn't
favorite
work.
amps. I mean, hands down. Like that red channel's awesome. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want that. I want like a mean, nasty channel. So yeah, if they come out with the newer amps, like PV does, and they reissue some stuff, or because I know they got the new 6505 coming out, and if they put that soy channel in there, I'm gonna be pissed.
dude,
Like,
yeah.
really? Come on, guys! Like, can
But
we?
it's iconic, man. You're supposed to have that soy channel.
I just come on. Let's just make it what it's supposed to be. Like,
Well,
no metal
yeah.
player, no respectable metal player is gonna play that. But
Yeah.
you're paying for it, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. If you're gonna spend the money on, with like a 3-channel amp or whatever, you want to have all 3 channels usable.
It's almost like a bad cable package. Like, here's.
There's like 6 cables that don't work, but here's the 7th one that might work.
Well, I'm talking about cable TV. Like, there's, here's your package. There's $60 a month. And,
I don't watch TV. Clearly, I don't watch TV.
Well, what I mean is, like, here's one channel you'll like, but you're paying for 60 other ones that you'll never watch. Like, thanks for
Oh
that.
yeah, no. What? Actually, I take it back. That's like in the '90s when they did that. Man, that was the dark ages back then. We were the test children.
Yeah. Anyways, well, hey guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm starving. I gotta eat. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it very much, and we hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed doing it. I mean,
Absolutely.
This was fun, dude.
A lot of fun.
I learned a lot tonight. I
Yeah.
really did. Like,
Yeah.
putting these up against each other on the rack. Man, thank God for KHE Amp Switchers, because if it wasn't for that, we couldn't do this. I love my amp switcher, so that's really one of the things that made this show possible too. So, again, really appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys got something out of it. To all the subscribers, thank you so much. And I'll be getting back to doing some regular episodes really soon. I'm still resting up, according to doctor's orders here, to get my the head pain and stuff under control. And but as soon as I start feeling better, I'll be doing more episodes. But until then, I'll do as much as I can during the week and still go live on Wednesdays and Sundays at least. So, and if you haven't subscribed, please do, because got a lot of great stuff coming up. We can't wait to share it with you. And I will definitely see you on the next one. God bless you guys. Love you all. Thanks again for being here, and we will catch you very soon. I will definitely be live again on Wednesday night. Yep. Okay. So we'll see you all soon, and thanks again for being here, dude.
Thanks for inviting me.
Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
No, yeah, absolutely.